Whether you're working with hard copies or paperless training records, Training Keeper software saves you time and unnecessary expense because it keeps, manages, schedules, and summarizes your company's important training information. In addition, the software helps you meet ISO 9001. According to ISO 9001, your company must maintain appropriate records of education, training, skills, and experience. Training Keeper lets you quickly create these records and store them in one place. With Training Keeper software, you don't have to worry about losing training records, finding training records, and storing and sorting the training records. With the software, you can quickly review every employee's training and education. When needed, you can quickly print multiple different types of reports that summarize this training. If you're being audited for training, Training Keeper software will not only help you pass the audit, but also impress your auditor. Training Keeper is very easy to use and employ. You will be up and running within 10 minutes. Let me show you the software in action. Here is the opening screen. I will now create a training record. The class that was taught was called Computer Security, so I will select that from our class list. And the teacher that taught it was Morris Gregg, the VP of IT. And it took him 20 minutes to teach the class. The students that attended the class was John Jeremiah, Leonard Maxis, and Jacob Jones, and they all passed the class. So we'll just select pass. And that's it. The training record is stored and saved. Now if I want to start a new one, I can just click Save New, and a blank training record comes up. Now if I want to bring back that last training record, there's multiple ways of doing this, but let me show you the list of training history. It's very simple. Just hit Classes and click Training History. And from here I can quickly sort by the class date or the training record number. So if I click on training record, I can sort ascending, which gives me the oldest class first, or I can click descending, which shows me the newest class first. When I find the class that I'm interested in, all I need to do is double click along that row and the record training form pops up. You can quickly print this training record by selecting reports and then print this record. And here's our training record that we can print or email to someone. Speaking of reports, let's take a look at other reports from Training Keeper software. Let's say you are interested in looking at all the students' training for the month of October. So we would go to Reports and then Training Summary. You would then enter in the report parameters such as date, student, teacher, or class, and then you click Student Summary. And here you see the report that is ranged by student. It shows the class date, the class name, the grade, the training record number, the time, and the teacher. If I wanted the same information arranged by class, I would select Class Summary. If I wanted to see the classes by teacher, I would select Teacher Summary. If I was interested in metrics that showed the amount of class time and the number of classes taken, I would select the Time and Count report. This report summarizes the amount of classes and the amount of time that each student took during a given time period. Training Keeper software lets you schedule future classes. After scheduling, you can print multiple reports based on the scheduling information. Here is a list of scheduled classes, and anywhere along this column here where there's a 0, that class has not yet been taught. I can quickly review these classes by clicking on the 0 and then click Filter by Selection, and only those classes will appear. So I can see that there's 3 classes that still need to be taught. If I want to schedule a new class, it's very easily done. Just click on New Schedule, enter in the due date of the class, select the employee's name, select the class name, select who scheduled that person. That's it, the class is scheduled. If I was interested in seeing a training record for a previous class scheduled and taught, I can click on Edit Schedule here, and here's a list of all the scheduled classes. And I can just click on the desired training record, and here it is. Let's go back and take a look at the schedule of classes. I'm interested in taking a look at an open class again, so I'm just going to click on the 0 and click on Filter by Selection. There's a list of our open classes. Because these classes haven't been taught, there's a 0 next to the training record. Now let's take a look at this last class that we just added, which is ISO Audit 9001, and the employee that needs to be trained is Leonard Maxis. Let's create a training record for this particular class. Okay, so we're back at the training record. We're going to click on the class name, which is ISO Audit 9001, and let's say the teacher was Daniel Peters, because the class was 120 minutes, 2 hours. The person who took the class was Marcus Leonard, and he passed. As I fill in a training record, the software automatically creates a record number. In this case, it is 137. If there were any open scheduled courses for that training class and employee, the record number is automatically assigned by the software to that open scheduled class. Let's go back to the scheduled list and notice that the class that we had just previously scheduled, which is the top one here, now has record number 137 assigned to it. With the scheduled courses, there's also multiple reports that we can run. To go to them, we go to Reports, Scheduling Summary. We can quickly take a look at the open classes by clicking here. Here's the report that shows what classes that need to be taught by the due date and the students that need to be taught for that particular class. You can also print a report that shows the classes needed by student by clicking Open by Student. And here's a list arranged by student name and the courses they need to take. Let me show you some other benefits of Training Keeper software. For classes, you can change these labels to meet your company's terminology. These labels will be used throughout the program. In addition, as you enter in class information, you can hyperlink to training material. So at a later date, you can then quickly review the training material for that class. You can quickly pull up training records for a given employee. I can go to Employee and look at Employee List, select the employee's name, and then click on the employee's training, and here's a list of all their training. From here, I can quickly go to a particular training record by double-clicking along the row. Training Keeper works with either hard copy training records or soft copies. As I mentioned earlier, a training record number occurs for each training record. If you have hard copies of training records, enter that data into Training Keeper and then record the training record number onto your hard copy. You can then file the hard copies by training number. This makes them easy to find. You can also go paperless. Training Keeper software allows for multiple employees to be on the software at the same time. So, allow your trainers to have access to the software. After they teach a class, they can quickly enter the class information into the software.